Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and for those of you who are new here, my name's Amy. I'm a full-time reseller primarily on the Poshmark app, but I also dabble in other areas like Facebook Marketplace and on Cherish.com, and I do other local sales too. So today I'll be doing a ship with me video for you guys. You really seem to like these. I have fun making them. I love sharing my finds and sharing what they sell for. So let's get started. The first item is this Fall Raven backpack. And I picked this up recently at an amazing yard sale. If you look at a few videos back, you'll see a video that I did, Epic Yard Sale Haul, and this is one of the items that I got there. I spent $175 at that sale, and it made my average cost of goods $7.50 per item. This I originally listed for $175. I thought maybe I was kind of reaching, but these do have pretty high retails. And I sent out offers to likers on every item in my closet for 20% off with $5.95 discounted shipping. So I sent out this offer for $151 with discounted shipping, and the buyer accepted. So like I said, I paid $7.50 for this. So that made my net profit $111.58. I love having profits over $100. You know, of course, if it were up to me, I would just like to have less sales, all with big profits. But, you know, wouldn't we all like that? So I was pretty excited when this sold. I didn't know, you know, if I would really get that much for it, or, you know, I saw some comps in that range, but I just wasn't sure if I would get that or not. So I am thrilled. And I apologize if you guys can hear some background noise. We are experiencing a heat wave here, and so I could not make it through the video without having my window air conditioner on. We're supposed to get temperatures as high as 110 degrees this week, and it's going to be over 100 today. So anyway, sorry about that, but hopefully you guys can make it through. Now, I have a large box number 7 for this, but I think I'm gonna have to make a Franken box for it to fit. But I'm just gonna go ahead and put that in there for now, and I will figure that out off camera. The next item is this fun vintage Fringe leather purse. Kind of has a Western boho vibe to it. And I picked this up at a Goodwill on our way home from a somewhat recent camping fishing trip that we went on. And they had it marked for $6.99, so of course I grabbed it. I love picking up vintage items that have a bohemian or western, southwestern vibe to them. They seem to sell pretty good for me and for pretty good prices. And this did not have a brand name on it, but when I have a vintage item that is unbranded, I list it under the brand vintage on Poshmark. And sometimes, even if an item is branded, but it's not that great of a brand, I'll list it under vintage. I think it really helps get exposure. People follow the vintage brand just like they follow any other brand. So I had originally listed this for $59, and this was also part of the 20% off offers that I sent out. So I sent out an offer for $47 with discounted shipping, and the buyer accepted. Like I said, I had paid $7 for this, so that made my net profit $30.60. I kind of hope to get a little bit more for this, but it sold relatively quickly, and I'm happy with a quick turnaround, so that's good. Okay, and if this is your first time watching my videos, you'll see that I love selling belts, and pretty much every ship with me video I have belts. So I don't like to pay on average, I like to pay about $3 per belt. But sometimes I'll pay $5, $8 if it's a really good brand or a really unique style. This belt, I paid $3 for at the Goodwill, and most of the time I list my belts for $39 unless they're just a really basic, not very substantial item, then I'll list them for less, or if there's something really special, I'll list them for more, but typically $39. So I had this listed for $39 and a buyer offered me $25. And for belts, they are a bread and butter item for me. So sometimes I'll take lower offers on them just because it's kind of like an extra throw-in profit for me. So I accepted the $25 and that made my net profit $17. I'm very happy with that. So for my belts, I either use the small flat rate box, or for the little bit thicker ones, I'll use this 1096L. And it's the same shape as the small flat rate box. It's just a little bit bigger, so they fit in there better. Okay, the next item is another belt, and this is a fun piece. This is by Brighton, and it has all these great kind of concho type look, Southwest metal parts on it. And again, I had hoped for a little bit more for this, but Brighton tends to be kind of a slow seller for me, and this buyer really seemed interested. So I had listed it for $39, and she started off by offering me like $15 or something, and we went back and forth, and then finally I accepted $22. So like I said, I think I might have been able to hold out and get a little bit more for this, but sometimes Brighton doesn't sell for me, so I went ahead and accepted it. I had paid $3 for this at a yard sale, so that made my net profit $14.60. I find belts easy to source, photograph, and list, and they don't take up much space. So I really like having them as a bread and butter item. I'm going to use the small flat rate box for this one. And I might add some more padding to that so that it doesn't flop around in there. Okay, the next item is kind of different and interesting. So if you guys have watched before, you'll see I like picking up unique vintage items. So this was like a vintage snowmobile club jacket, and it has this little patch on the front that says Cliff, which I just thought was kind of funny. There was 2 of these at the estate sale, and it was shortly before Halloween when I got them, and they were priced at just $1 each. So I picked them both up thinking maybe a couple would want to, you know, have them, use them for a Halloween costume or whatnot, but they didn't sell. I've had them listed for a while, but for $1, it's no big deal. I had it listed for $39, and this was a full price sale. It always surprises me when I've had something listed for a while and then it ends up selling for full price, but I'm not gonna complain. Like I said, I had paid $1 for this at an estate sale, so that made my net profit $30.20. And I get a lot of questions about these plastic sheets that I am wrapping things in. And I picked up a big box of these at an estate sale like a year ago. They were only $5 for like 1,000 of them. But what they are is the long plastic garment bags that the dry cleaners use. So I'm sure you could find something similar on Amazon or through like a store supply warehouse. But I just cut them in half to reduce waste, and then I just wrap the item up in it. And I don't know, I think works out pretty good. So did I say my net profit was $30.20 on that? I think I did. Okay, the next item is another pair of shoes from that epic yard sale haul. And I just thought these were so cute. They're Adidas kind of dad sneakers. And when I originally grabbed these, I had higher hopes for them, but then when I looked at the comps, they just didn't sell for very high amounts. So let's see, what did I originally list these for? I think I listed them for $46, and this was another one of the items that I had sent out 20% off offers with $5.95 shipping. And I sent the offer for $36, so the buyer accepted that. My average cost of goods for that haul was $7.50, so my net profit was $19.58. I would have liked to gotten a little bit more for these, but I am happy it was a pretty quick flip on these, so I'm not going to complain about a $20 profit. Okay, the next item is this pair of Steve Madden kind of golden goose look-alike tennis shoes. I had bought these for myself, and then after wearing them a couple of times, I realized that they were just slightly too big for me. And so I think I got them at Ross or something. So I didn't pay very much for them, but let's see, did the buyer, I can't remember what I had these listed for or what happened, but either way, the buyer paid $20 for them. I'm calling my cost of goods $0 because these were from my own closet. So that made my profit or whatever $14.28, which is fine for something that was just sitting in my closet that I wasn't going to wear again anyways, and more than I could get at if I sold them at a yard sale or something like that. Okay, so the last item for today is this hand-blown glass pendant on a silver tone, not real silver, kind of omega chain. I had this listed for a long time. It was kind of an impulse buy, and I think I just couldn't get the right descriptive words, or I'm not sure, but I think I originally listed it for $29. You know what, I think I'm gonna wrap these separate. And this is part of, again, the 20% off offers. So I sent out an offer for $23 with discounted shipping. I had paid $2 for this, so that made my net profit $14.68. Probably wouldn't pick up something like this again based on how long it took to sell for that type of profit, but I am happy that it is going out the door, and I hope that the buyer really likes it. So I just did a little bubble wrap around the glass part of the pendant, and then some tissue paper from the dollar store around the rest of it. And I'm going to use one of these small flat rate boxes. I might add some more padding in there, we'll see. All right, well, thanks so much for watching. I'll be back in a couple of days to share what else I sell this week. And if you're enjoying my videos, I would so appreciate it if you would give this video a like, if you would hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. And comment down below maybe what your favorite piece is, a heart emoji, your Poshmark closet, whatever, how your weekend was. All those things really help me out. They help boost my videos in the YouTube algorithm, so it makes my videos be shown or previewed to more people, and it just helps me out. So, all right, we'll see you in a couple of days. Hi there, I'm back to ship out my sales from the last couple of days, and I've had quite a few sales actually, some lower dollar sales, but I'm happy to move things out and get new things in. So the first item is this vintage Limoges. Oh, can you even see that? Let's see. There we go. A hand painted trinket box. And so it's a lidded box. It is marked Limoges. Let's see. Sorry, the lighting is not very good today. There we go. On the bottom. And I came across this at a thrift store, and they had it marked for $18, which is a pretty high price for a little trinket box. But because it looks so nicely done and it was marked Limoges, I decided to look up comps, and I saw some pretty high comps on eBay, you know, from, you know, like $80 all the way up to over $200. So I decided to go ahead and pick it up. I did buy it quite some time ago, maybe 6 months or so. And I had it listed as high as $189. And I had sent out a few different offers on it and hadn't really got any bites. So a buyer offered me $100 for it, and I decided that I was ready to take that and move it on. And because I had paid $18 for it, that still left plenty of room for profit for me. And it made my net profit $62, which I'm not going to complain about at all. Okay, so a couple little tips for packaging breakables. I always like to wrap each piece separately, so I would never ship these together. I'm going to pack them individually, and then I'm actually going to tape them together and add, sorry for that noise, add more bubble wrap around the outside of both of them. And so you do not want your items to move around at all when they're in transit. That's one of the ways that they get broken. Let's see, go ahead and do that. The other tip is that you want to make sure that there is at least 3 inches all the way around the item of packaging inside the box. So if something happens to the box, if it gets dented or caught in the machine or whatever, that outside damage to the box cannot damage your item. Then when you put it in the box, I'm going to use a medium flat rate box. Then you want to have, I'm going to use packing peanuts. When you close this with the packing peanuts, you want to have to force it closed. You want it to be so full that there's no way that your item can move at all in the package. And so you just want to stuff it as full as you can all the way around. Make sure it's tucked in every little corner there so that your item doesn't move, and so that there's 3 inches on the top, on the sides, and on the bottom so that your item doesn't get damaged. That was kind of a quick tutorial on shipping breakable items. I will say I'm even more careful when I ship items via the postal service. They tend to be harder on packages, and the machines tend to be harder on packages. I prefer to ship with UPS or FedEx if I can when I have a breakable item, but this was sold on Poshmark, so the only option is UPS. If you still don't feel comfortable with shipping an item, you can always double box it, and what that means is that you put it nice and tight in a small box, and then you put that box with more packaging around it inside another box, and that makes it almost indestructible if you do it right. But that I may consider doing that with this. We'll just have to see. Okay, so the next item is this Madewell leather bag, and this is another item that I picked up at that epic yard sale where my average cost of goods was $7.50 per item. I have already made quite a bit of money on the items from that sale, and I still have, I don't know, probably 20 items left to sell, and I've already more than doubled my money, so that's really exciting. I had this listed for $89, and a buyer offered me $75. I thought that was very fair because this did have a little bit of wear and marks on it. Nothing, you know, nothing too major. So like I said, my costs of goods was, I'm gonna go ahead and tuck this in, I think. Let's see here. My cost of goods was $7.50 per item for this haul. So that made my net profit $52.50. I am thrilled with that. And I'm just wrapping it again in one of these plastic garment bags that I picked up at an estate sale. I keep telling myself I'm going to link something similar that you can order off Amazon. And I'm saying it again, so hopefully I actually do it this time. So if you're looking for something similar, check the links in the description box to order something similar. And I do cut these in half so I can use both ends of them. Let's see, I do have this large flat rate box and it looks like I'm just gonna be able to squish it in there. So that is good. I won't have to make a Franken box. Okay, the next item is this charm bracelet. Now this is inspired by Pandora. It's not an actual Pandora bracelet. I didn't use that term in my description, but it is sterling silver and it does have some blown glass beads on it. I found this at a thrift store for $5. Which I thought was pretty good considering it was sterling silver. Some of the beads were sterling silver and it had these blown glass beads. I thought it was really pretty. It did take a little while to sell. And I think I started out listing this at $69. The buyer offered me $45. And like I said, I'd had it for a little while, so I decided to go ahead and accept that. Again, I had paid $5 for this, so that made my net profit $31. I'm happy with that. Let's see, I forgot to get a box out for this, so I'll put it in a little gift box afterwards. I am going to use the small flat rate box for this. Okay, the next item I had just listed a couple of days ago. Always love a quick sale. And it is these Rock Revival jeans. And they are, the style is the Alanis straight. And you know, they have all this extra bling and whatnot on the pockets. This really isn't my style typically, but I was at a yard sale and they had a bunch of jeans and they were only charging $1 for them. And they were good sizes, like 8, 10, and 12. These were size 31. So I decided to pick them up. I listed these for $44 and the buyer offered me $30, which was a little bit less than I had originally hoped for. So I added the jeans to a bundle and sent her a message and said, hey, I just listed these. I was hoping to get a little bit more for them. Would you come up to 35? And she replied and said, would you do 35 with discounted shipping, which is basically $33. So I went ahead and countered her offer with $33 and got a tiny bit more for these jeans. So that's a little tip that I saw someone else on Instagram talk about. If you are kind of on the fence about accepting an offer, but you don't want to lose the opportunity to accept it, because if you counter, then you lose that opportunity. You can do this method and comment on there and see if you can get a little bit more for the item. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'd say maybe 50-50. It works to get a little bit more for an item. So I think it's worth a couple of seconds to do that. So they sold for $33. I had paid $1 for them, so that made my net profit $25.40. And I think they were only listed for 2 days. So I am happy with that. Okay. The next item is a belt, and this is kind of an off-white color belt, and it's from the Buckle. It is genuine leather. I picked it up because it had these interesting grommets on it, and I kind of felt like it gave it a kind of 90s Y2K kind of skater vibe to it. I had paid $3 for this at a thrift store, and I had it listed for $39. A buyer offered me $35. I thought that was great, so I went ahead and accepted it. So that made my net profit $22.32. And like I've said a million times before, I love selling these belts as a bread and butter item. And you know, if I can make $15, $20 profit per belt, I think it's great, you know, and I sell multiple, typically I sell multiple a week. Awesome, I love it, it's fun. You know, and a lot of times when you go to a thrift store and you're kind of not finding anything, you can check the belts and find something to make money on. So I'm gonna use the small flat rate box for this. Let's see here. So the next item is another belt. I thought this was kind of a fun piece with this kind of etched buckle and black woven leather. I had bought this at an estate sale for $2. That's another tip. A lot of times belts at estate sales and yard sales are really inexpensive, sometimes even a quarter or 50 cents. But you know, if I can get a belt for under $3, I am happy, because that always guarantees me a profit. So I had listed this for $39. A buyer offered me $15, and we went back and forth a couple of times, and she came up to $17, which really wasn't coming up too much on her part, but I had it listed for a little while, so I decided to go ahead and accept that $17. And with my $2 cost of goods and after posh fees, that made my net profit $11.60. I would like to make a little bit more on this, but you know, I'm happy. I'm happy with profit, and because it had been listed a little while, I'm happy to move it on. Okay, and the last item for today, I will be back tomorrow or the next day to show you what else I sell. And this is kind of a wah-wah sell, but sometimes we have sales like this. So this is a Leah Sophia multi-strand necklace. And it's got kind of glass beads with little leaves, kind of pearls, and it had the matching earrings. I had done something that I'd never done before, and I'll never do again at an estate sale. I got greedy or hasty or whatever you want to call it, and instead of looking through the jewelry piece by piece, I just grabbed it all and said, I'll take it all. It was a mistake. wasn't a good thing. So I get up to the register. There was a lot too. I get up to the register, and normally this estate sale company only charges like $1, $2, $3. So I didn't think it would be very much. And they were like $650. I about fainted. So it is one that I frequent a lot. And so I talked to the lady and apologized and said, is there any way that you'll do, you know, a better price for me? And we ended up agreeing on $400 for all the items. It ended up making my cost of goods per item $3. And it just was not a good risk to take, because it ended up that most of the items were these home party items. Like this is Leah Sophia. I don't know if I already said that, but you know, some of the home party items can retain their value, but Leah Sophia is not one of them. There was quite a few pieces in there of this, and I've only sold 2 or 3 of them for under $15 a piece. Anyways, long story short, this sold for $12, and I'd had it listed for quite some time. Like I said, my average cost of goods was $3, so after Posh fees, that made my net profit $6.05. So I won't be doing anything like that again. You know, I had to list all the things to recoup my money, so really it's ended up being a waste of my time because I could have been listing higher dollar items. But live and learn. We've all got to take chances and make mistakes here and there. So that's it for today. I will be back in a couple of days to show you what else sold. Hi there, I'm back to ship up my sales from the last couple of days, and it wasn't too bad. The first item is this really amazing vintage Monet brand necklace, and it just has this great fringe sunburst look to it. Some Monet pieces can, I don't know if you guys can see that, but some Monet pieces can have really great value and some have little to no value. So there's certain pieces that they call runway pieces, and this, I would consider this in that category. It was items that were, you know, originally kind of like special edition or limited and just more detailed and spectacular. There's a Monet book that has pictures and descriptions of this type of item. So I had this listed for quite some time, and I had it listed at $149, I believe, and I got an offer from a buyer for $100, and I decided that I was ready to let this go, and so I accepted it. I had paid $10 for this at a thrift store, and the only reason I paid up for it like that is because it was just a really spectacular piece. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my net profit $70. And this is a costume jewelry piece. It's not real gold, you know, it's just pure, you know, costume, not any fine materials. So some of these vintage costume jewelry designers and items can have really good values, but it's just takes time to, you know, learn which ones are good and which ones aren't good. And I'm still learning, and I probably will be learning forever or for a really long time. But I'm really happy with that sale. So I am going to box that up in the small flat rate box. And the next item that sold is this vintage beaded sequin rooster purse. Now this, I originally thought this was by Enid Collins, which was a somewhat famous designer of this type of purses in the 50s and 60s. I'm gonna see if I can tuck these. But this piece is actually just inspired by her, which is fine. It's still a really unique piece. And I picked it up at a thrift store for $6, which after I got it home, I was kind of thinking, oh, did I pay too much for that? But I guess not, because it sold for $40 on offer. I believe I listed it for $49 because it did have some wear and dirty marks on the handles and on the kind of linen fabric portion of this, but I am happy with the $40. So after Posh fees, that makes my net profit $23.32. I've said this before, but I really love picking up unique vintage items. I just think it's interesting, and you know, I always wonder what, you know, the buyer, if they're going to wear it to some sort of special occasion, if they're a collector, what, you know, what the deal is. But anyways, I'm glad to find it a new home. So I am going to use this box number 7, hopefully. Yes, that'll fit in there just perfectly. And the next item is this kind of 80s looking, 90s maybe, chunky knit sweater. Now this feels like wool and it is really heavy and thick. I picked this up, let's see, what's the brand name on this? I don't think there was a brand name. No, it just says 100% wool handmade in Ecuador. So I picked this up for a number of reasons because of the style. It had this really artsy art to wear style. It's 100% wool, it's handmade. All of those things make me say yes, 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 this is unique. So I think I started out listing this at $69, but I think I got it midwinter last year, so I've had it for quite a while, and I got a offer for $50. I just saw a hair on here, and I thought the $50 was more than fair, so I went ahead and accepted that. Sorry to be distracted, but nobody wants hair on their item when they get it. So I went ahead and accepted the $50. I had paid $3 for this at an estate sale. So after Posh fees, that made my net profit $37. I am more than happy with that. And the buyer is going to get this really cool, unique piece. And this is going to New York. So I've mentioned it before, you know, these unique pieces can take time to sell for higher dollar amounts. And it just depends on how you want to, you know, run your business. If you know, I only paid $3 for this, so I could have listed it for $35 and it probably would have sold really quickly. So if you want to be more of a quick turn and burn seller, you can do it that way and price things lower. Or if you want to wait for higher profits and higher dollar amounts, then you just list it higher and wait. It just depends on, you know, how you want to run your business and how much space you have. So the next item is this cool Kelty fanny pack. But the cool thing is that it turns into a backpack. So this top part, I'm not going to pull it, well, I guess I will. This top part you just pull out and it turns into a whole backpack. And then this front pocket you could just use as the regular fanny pack portion. I just thought this was really different, and I priced it a little bit higher and figured that if it didn't sell, I would just keep it and use it for yard selling or flea markets or something like that. But I had it priced for $44, and it took a couple months to sell, but it sold for full price. I had picked this up at the Goodwill bins, and it was out of a bin that had been out for a while and everybody had looked through. And I think just because, you know, the name brand was Kelty, that maybe people passed on it. But anyways, my average cost of goods for that haul was $1.65. So that made my net profit for this about $33.50. I'm happy with that. I think the buyer is gonna like this and it'll be useful, which is great. So I will go ahead and put that in a box. The next item is this cool vintage belt with fringe detail. And you can see it's kind of asymmetrical. The fringe is just on one side. Now I picked this up at a thrift store. You have to pardon me if I'm glistening. We are having a heat wave and it is just really hot. I picked this up at a thrift store with a full outfit. It came with a shirt and a skirt and then this over the top, and I paid $5 for the whole outfit. And I decided to, you know, separate them because I thought the belt was really cool and I thought I could sell them separately for more money than I could as a full set. So I listed this for $45, and I had hoped to get a little bit more for it, but I got tons of likes and not very many offers, and the offers I did get were very low. And so when this buyer, she started out offering me 30, I think, and then we went back and forth and she came up to 35. So I decided to go ahead and take that. I just split the difference with my cost of goods. So I said I paid $250 for this, and I'll say I paid $250 for the rest of the outfit. So that made my net profit $25.50. And if you've watched my videos, I'm sure you're tired of hearing me say that I love picking up belts, but you'll understand why now, because I sell so many of them. And it's just a great bread and butter item that doesn't take up much space. I do probably have, I need to look, but I do probably have at least 50 belts listed. So that may increase my chances of selling them because I have so many options. I'm not sure, but quite a few of you have told me that you started buying belts because I talked about it in my videos, and I think that's great. I hope that you're doing well selling the belts as well. Okay, so that the last item for today is, well, actually for this week, is another belt. And it's just kind of a studded black leather belt, and it is marked genuine leather. I don't think this is too terribly old, but because there was no brand name on it, I listed it under vintage, and I put vintage style. And typically, if I'm not sure of the age, I'll put that in the listing. You know, I'm not sure of the exact age of this, but has a vintage look to it. And I had this listed for $39. The buyer asked me a question about the measurements, and I answered in a timely manner. And then my Poshmark VA sent out a 10% off offer for $35 with discounted shipping, and the buyer accepted. So I know oftentimes when people ask questions about measurements and whatnot, they don't result in sales, but whenever I can, I always try and answer questions, because you know, there's nothing more frustrating than when you're really interested in an item and you're looking at it and you have a question and then the seller doesn't answer your question. And, you know, even though answering the question doesn't guarantee the sale, not answering the question makes sure you won't get the sale. So I try and do it as often as I can, which is almost always. But so I paid $3 for that. It sold for $35, which made my net profit $22.30. Well, my week wasn't quite as good as last week, but I am happy overall. I've really been trying to up my game with new listings. I've been using the Poshmark VA relist tool and relisting 5 to 10 items a day. I've been sharing the trends. So if you go to the shop tab and then scroll down a little bit, there'll be a bar that says today's trends. And I had read in a group that they thought that this was helpful for the algorithm to share those trends. So each day I go in and share for about 5 to 10 minutes from those trends, and I do feel like it's helping my sales. So I don't know if it's that or a combination of things, but if you're trying to get to the Posh ambassador status, you have to do community shares anyways. So I figure I may as well do it, and for 5 or 10 minutes, that doesn't take up too much of my time. So I hope some of my tips have helped you improve your sales. And if you are enjoying my videos, I would greatly appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button. You can ring the bell and it'll tell you when I post new videos, since I try and post once a week, but I don't have a set day. So if you ring that bell, it'll tell you whenever I post a new video. And then it also really helps me out if you hit that thumbs up button below and leave a comment. It helps boost my videos in the YouTube algorithm so more people can see it and I can grow my channel and keep bringing you videos. So again, that's it for this week, and I will see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.